Primetime cable news shows devoted more than 3.5 times as much coverage to the NFL controversy that President Donald Trump stirred up as they did to historic wildfires in California, Media Matters found in an analysis of coverage the week after each incident began. Even when the NFL controversy was weeks old and the wildfires were at their peak, Fox News still devoted more than twice as much coverage to the Trump-sparked NFL story as to the fires. On September 22, Trump kicked off a national controversy when he criticized NFL players who kneeled during pre-game national anthems to protest racism and police brutality. During a campaign rally in Alabama, Trump mused, "Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, 'Get that son of a bitch off the field right now'? Out, he's fired." He's fired. NFL players, coaches, and owners responded by staging more protests, and in subsequent days and weeks, Trump added fuel to the controversy by doubling down on his initial criticism and threatening to revoke the NFL's nonprofit status over the protests, even though the NFL had given up that nonprofit status in 2015. Just over 2 weeks after Trump's initial comments about the protests, California experienced the deadliest wildfires in the state's history. Beginning on October 8, wildfires spread across Northern California in what the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection (CAL FIRE) dubbed the October Fire Siege. According to CAL FIRE, there were 21 major wildfires that burned over 245,000 acres, forced 100,000 to evacuate, destroyed an estimated 6,900 structures, and killed 42 people. Estimates of the fire's damage are as high as $6 billion, making them likely to rank among the most expensive natural disasters in California history. Though the fires were both deadly and economically devastating, the major cable news networks devoted 3.5 times as much coverage to the Trump-triggered NFL controversy as they did to the wildfires on their primetime, weekday shows during the week after each incident began. Media Matters analyzed the first full week of coverage after the NFL controversy kicked off and the first full week of coverage after the California wildfires began burning. From September 25 to September 29, primetime cable news shows aired a combined 136 segments about the NFL controversy, with CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News airing 62, 28, and 46 segments, respectively. By comparison, primetime cable news shows devoted significantly less coverage to the California wildfires during the first week of coverage of the October Fire Siege. From October 9 to October 13, the primetime cable shows aired a combined 38 segments on the fires, with CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News airing 19, 9, and 10 segments, respectively. The NFL controversy got 358% more coverage, more than 3.5 times as much. Media Matters also compared coverage of the two different stories during the same week, October 913, starting 1 day after the wildfires began and 17 days after Trump's first NFL comments. Even during this period, when the wildfires were most destructive and the NFL controversy was more than 2 weeks old, Fox News primetime shows still devoted more than twice as many segments to the NFL controversy as they did to the fires, 22 versus 10. CNN and MSNBC, however, both aired more segments about the wildfires during this week. Cable news' tendency to focus on Trump's controversial comments and tweets rather than other news that directly affects viewers' lives is unfortunately nothing new. The NFL players' protests raise important concerns about racism and police brutality, but Trump's outbursts did not help address those issues. Cable news networks have been more than willing to sacrifice substantive news stories for anything Trump-related because coverage of the president and his contentious statements has brought them record profits and viewership numbers. But the fact that coverage of a Trump-triggered controversy going into its third week can still compete with and even exceed coverage of historically devastating wildfires puts a fine point on just how bad the problem is. Zachary Pleat, Alex Morish, and Rebecca DeMonte contributed research to this report. Charts by Sarah Vasco. Methodology. Media Matters searched Nexus for transcripts of segments about the controversy around NFL protests and the October Fire Siege in California. To identify segments about the NFL controversy, we use the search term NFL or Anthem or Kneel or Pledge or Kaepernick or Stand or Allegiance. To identify segments about the California wildfires, we use the search term Wildfire or Fire in Sonoma or Napa or Mendocino or North Bay or California or Yuba or Solano or Butte or Lake County. We analyzed the primetime, weekday news shows on the three major cable news networks, CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. For CNN, we reviewed shows that air from 5 p.m. to midnight. For MSNBC and Fox News, we reviewed shows that air from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. MSNBC's 11 p.m. show, The 11th Hour with Brian Williams, is not indexed in Nexus and so was excluded. Fox News airs a rerun of Tucker Carlson tonight at 11 p.m., and our study did not count repeat airings of the show. Our time frame for analyzing coverage of the NFL controversy was September 25, 3 days after Trump's initial comments, to September 29. Our time frame for analyzing coverage of the California wildfires was October 9, 1 day after the fires started, to October 13. We defined segments as instances where more than one individual discussed either topic during a panel discussion, or when a host or correspondent mentioned either topic as part of a news brief or headline rundown. Our analysis excluded teasers and passing mentions where a speaker mentioned either the NFL controversy or the California wildfires without any other speaker in the segment engaging.